Here I will talk about geometric probability distribution. First, I will define and work on an example using formula and a calculator. Let's look at this definition here. Geometric probability distribution gives probability of number of failures before a success in a sequence of independent trials, where each trial results in either a success or a failure. These are the common notations and formulas: number of trials N, probability of successes in a trial P, probability of successes in xth trial is Px, which is given by this formula. Probability of success by x trials is given by this formula. Mean is 1 over p. Variance is 1 minus p over p square. And standard deviation is this, square root of 1 minus p over p. Now let's look at this example here. We are tossing a biased coin that has a probability of getting a head of 1 over 3. We will be answering all these probabilities given this scenario. First, we need to find p. Let's see what p is. So p here is 1 over 3. Now let's look at the very first problem. Here we are supposed to find the probability of getting first head on the third trial. So here our p is 1 over 3 and x is 3. Now we can use this formula, this one. So here we know our p and our x. So all we need to do is substitute these numbers into this formula here. So we get probability of 3 equals to 1 minus 1 over 3, 3 minus 1 times 1 over 3. Now you can put this number in a calculator. From calculator, this whole thing comes out to be 0.1481. Now let me show you how to find this probability using calculator. Go to second, then go to distribution, go all the way down where you'll see geometric PDF. Okay, this one here. Then hit enter. So our P here is 1 over 3. And our X value for this one is 3. So now hit enter, then hit enter. So this is what we found using formula also. Now let's look at another problem. Here we need to find the probability of getting first head on the 6th trial. So our P is still the same, 1 over 3, but our X here will be 6. So once we have P and X, all we need to do is plug in these numbers, P and X, into this formula here. So we get probability of 6 equals to 1 minus 1 over 3, 6 minus 1, 1 over 3. Now you can plug in this whole thing in a calculator. So this whole thing comes out to be 0.0439. Now let me show you how to get this probability in calculator. For that, hit second, go to distribution, use this arrow key to go all the way down until you see geometric PDF. Now hit enter. Our P is 1 over 3, but our X is 6. Okay. Then hit enter and hit enter. So this is what we got using calculator, and this is what exactly we got using formula also. Let's look at another problem. Here we are supposed to find the probability of getting first head on less than 6 trials. So basically we are supposed to find this. So we will be using this formula here. And our P is 1 over 3. And for this one, our X is 5. Now, once we know what our p and x are, all we need to do is plug in these numbers into this formula here. So we get probability of this equals to 1 minus our p is 1 over 3. 1 over 3 and our x is 5. Now you can put this whole thing in a calculator. So this comes out to be 0.8683. Let me show you how to do this in a calculator. In calculator, you can just use geometric CDF. So for that, go to second, then go to distribution, go all the way down, use this arrow key to go all the way down until you see geometric CDF. So this is what we need. Then hit enter. Our P is 1 over 3 and our X is 5. So hit enter and hit enter. So we have this, and this is exactly what we got using formula also. Now let's work on another problem here. Here we are supposed to find the probability of getting first hit on more than 6 trials. So basically we are supposed to find this probability here. Basically, we are trying to find probability for x equals to 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on, infinitely many of them. So it is impossible for us to find all these probabilities. Instead, what we can do is to look at complement. Complement of more than 6 is 6 or less. So we find probability of less than or equal to 6 and subtract that from 1. What that means is we will have to find this 1 minus probability of this. For this whole thing, we can also write that as 1 minus probability of 1 plus probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 4 plus probability of 5 plus probability of 6. Now, using this formula here, we can find probability of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's do that now. First, start with probability of 1. Our p is 1 over 3, and for this one, our x is 1. So since we have our p and x, all we will be doing is we'll be substituting those values in this formula here. On doing that, we get 1 minus 1 over 3. So our x is 1. So here it will be 1 minus 1 times p, which is 1 over 3. You can put this whole thing in a calculator, and this thing comes out to be 0.33333. Now let's find probability for 2. So for this one, our x will be 2 and our p is same, which is 1 over 3. Now we can substitute those p and x in this formula here. We get 1 minus 1 over 3, 2 minus 1, and this is 1 over 3. So you can put this whole thing in a calculator. This whole thing comes out to be 0.22222. Now let's find probability of 3. So for this one, our x will be 3 and p is still the same. So now we get 1 minus 1 over 3. So this will be 3 minus 1 times 1 over 3. So this comes out to be 0.14815. So using the same concept and formula, we can easily find probability of 4, probability of 5, and probability of 6. For now, I am just going to list those here. Probability of 4 equals to 0.09877. And let me write that here. Probability of 5 equals to 0.06584. And finally, probability of 6 equals to 0.04389. Now we can add all these probabilities, that is probability of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now when we add these probabilities here, we get 0.9122. And we still need to subtract this whole thing from 1. So the probability comes out to be 0.0878. Now let me show you how to get this in a calculator. So for that, we can do 1 minus, go to second, distribution, use this arrow key to go all the way down to geometric CDF, then hit enter. So our P is 1 over 3 and our X value is 6, then hit enter. Then hit enter again. So we got this number, and this is exactly what we got here using formula also. Now let's look at another problem. Here we need to find the average number of trials of getting the first head. So we have this formula here, so we can just use that. Let me write the formula over here. We know mean equals to 1 over P, and we know P is 1 over 3, so all we need to do is put the value of P in this formula here. So we get 1 over 1 by 3. So this comes out to be 3. So therefore, mean is 3. Therefore, the average number of trials of getting the first head is this. Let's look at very last problem here, and we have to find a standard deviation. The formula is right here, so we can just use that formula to find a standard deviation. And since we know our P is 1 over 3, all we need to do is substitute the value of P in this formula here. So we get a standard deviation equals to radical 1 minus 1 over 3 over 1 over 3. Now you can evaluate this in a calculator. So using calculator, the whole thing is equal to 2.45. Therefore, the standard deviation of the distribution is this, 2.45. Here I have listed all the probabilities and standard deviation and average at one place, and we are done. Thank you for watching. We hope this video was helpful. Please like and subscribe our channel. We will be bringing more and more videos on variety of topics.